Greetings, dear ones. How are you doing? My name is Sonia, and I am the host of the Treasures You podcast. And this is the sweet essence of surrender. This is a time in all of our lives to come to the realization of our divinity. Take off those glasses, those rose color glasses, and look into the eyes of divine greatness. You are at a pivotal junction of transformation, realizing that once upon a time you walked through life with your eyes completely closed to the everyday distortions that ran rampant within the mind. Look no further, dear ones, because the treasure is you. Greetings, dear ones. How are you doing? I hope all is well. So today, as you can see on my prompter, I am a work in progress, learning to go with the ebb and flow of life. So today, this is what the podcast is about, is because I am learning to go with the ebb and flow of life. And I noticed this a couple of days ago when things did not work out the way that I originally planned for it to work out. So because of that, with much learning that comes with going with the flow of life. Now, when I say that, it is a simple thing to say, but is it a simple thing to do? So for me, at certain times or certain things in my life, it hasn't been a simple thing to do. As I always say, of our conditioned beliefs, our habitual habits that we create for ourselves. So when we get caught in that belief or habitual habit, then at times we don't even realize that we are doing it because we are essences of habit. I'm pointing this out because, as I said 2 days ago, I noticed these things that did not work out the way that Sonia wanted it to work out, or how Sonia wanted it to work out. And my higher self said to let it go, let it be. And that is what I did. And when I did that, dear ones, it was very simple. It was very easy. Because when I held on to this thing that I felt, I needed for this experience to happen a certain way, and it did not. It did not happen that way. So the old version of me would try to fix it because I want perfection. Yes. Yeah, I'm one of those people. I like perfection. Now, perfection is great, but what I have learned from this going with the ebb and flow of life is when you have done the best you can do and you have given it your all, that is all that we all can do. So whatever outcome comes of whatever you are trying to create, or whatever experience or situation that you are in, and it does not turn out that way for you, then this is where, as I said, I'm learning. I'm a work in progress. We have to learn how to let it go. So that is what I did. I had to let a situation go. And as a matter of fact, this situation that I experienced was actually a fear. So I faced this fear by acknowledging it, and then I kept it moving. I acknowledged it, but when I acknowledged it with a neutral response, like I'm okay with what happened, instead of being angry, instead of being mad or upset and wanting to fix it. My higher self said, let it be and let it go. And that's what I did. And guess what? When I did that, it was okay. So what I have learned from this one experience, and I have experienced this before, but this is now being highlighted in my life now, so I can talk about it, because as I always say to you guys, it is the simple things in life that we miss. And because we miss these simple things, guess what happens? We repeat it over and over again until we learn the lesson. We learn what it is that we need to learn. So something as simple as an experience happening the way you want it, and to be able to be okay with it and to let it go. And that's what I did. I was okay with it. I let it go. As a matter of fact, when I let it go, guess what happened? It didn't exist anymore. It really didn't. It was when I held on to that experience that I felt like I didn't do well. So let me just give you an example of what I am talking about. So I did a podcast. There were certain parts of the podcast that I did not say what I wanted to say, and that bothered me. So my higher self said, let it go. Let it be. That is what I did. I let it go and I let it be. And when I did that, I felt like there was nothing to be concerned about because I let it go. So this lesson for all of us, definitely for myself, because I experienced this firsthand and have been experiencing this, just haven't learned the lesson. But this time I did, because I acknowledged it. And then when I acknowledged it and I let it go, guess what? It didn't exist anymore. Just like that. It was gone. So something simple as an experience. And this all goes back to us wanting to control, or us wanting to be perfect. Because yes, I do strive for perfection, which is great for all of us to strive for perfection. But there will be times, and there will be a lot of times, shall I say, that things are not going to work out the way that you planned it to. And that's okay. So I'm letting you know that is okay. And guess what? I definitely knew that that is okay. But because of my habitual way of being, wanting to be perfect, wanting to strive for perfection, and it did not turn out the way that I planned, guess what? The way that it turned out was the way it was supposed to turn out. So even when you're striving for perfection, and this is something important to realize, that when you do give your all to something and you have given all that you can give, and the experience still does not turn out the way you want it, then guess what? That is the way it's supposed to be. Now, of course, it depends on what that experience is. But for me, it was something that, yes, I could easily just let it go. And that's what I did. So, dear ones, if you are experiencing some things in life that you may feel like you want to have a type of result or outcome in a way, and you gave your best, you gave your absolute best to this situation or experience, then we have to have the courage, we have to have the wisdom to at times let it go. just let it go and let it be that way. So that is what I did. And a couple more things happened. And guess what? I was able to let it go. So by me letting things go, it no longer exists. So this is an example of going with the ebb and flow of life, because we do not need to control everything in life. And I have said this on my podcast a couple of times, that in the past I have been a person that want to control things, but also there is nothing wrong for striving for perfection. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I advocate that. Strive for perfection. And as I said, if you give your very best to whatever you're doing, then that's your best. That is it. You can't give anymore, right? So that is it. So that is what happened to me. I gave my best and I let it go, and everything is A-okay. So the same with you, dear ones. Whatever you may be creating, whatever experience that you thought that you wanted something to happen a certain way, don't beat yourself up. Don't make it hard for yourself. Because again, what I'm learning on this journey too is that all of our life experience that we are actually having for ourselves, whatever way that you present yourself in that experience, is that's the way you are experiencing that. That's the way you're showing up for that. So again, there's always room to improve, but also you do not have to be so hard on yourself about that experience that did not turn out the way that you planned for it to turn out. Just be aware of that. That's another belief system that we all have running in our minds that we are unaware of, because we think we are supposed to be certain ways. But no, as I said, there is always time to improve. But if you've done it over and over and over again, and then this is the best that you can give, then that's it. That is it. You have to just surrender and let it go. So that is what I did. And it was a simple thing. It really was. It was something very simple that I didn't even catch. I really was not aware of this thing that I was trying to make be a certain way. I didn't even realize it, because this was an automatic belief that, okay, it has to be this way. But no, it wasn't that way. And because it wasn't that way, the way that it turned out was the way it's supposed to be. All right, so I hope I didn't just confuse everyone. The main thing is we have to just allow ourselves to be and to go with the ebb and flow at times, because everything in life is not going to be the way we want it to be. It's not. It's going to turn out the way it should be. That is one I wanted to share. I think that's a really good thing to be aware of, because you're not going to be so hard on yourself. Yeah, we can be very hard on ourselves for certain things in life that we want to happen. That's where we trip ourselves up, is we want things to happen instead of just allowing the ebb and flow of life to happen the way it's supposed to allow it to unfold the way it's supposed to unfold for us, because we cannot do it all. No, we cannot do it all, dear ones. So I did learn that, and I'm sharing that with you all. And next, I want to share with going with the ebb and flow is that I had a podcast, let me see, a couple of months ago. And I just wanted to add to this podcast. I was talking about a movie. I'm trying to remember what podcast it was. I think it was Wait, I think it was part 3 of Who Am I and Why Am I Here? I think I named it What Have We Learned from Who Am I and Why Am I Here? I started talking about movies that I really love. So Star Wars is one of those movies, and I did not mention, and I'm going to mention it now, how Star Wars, the main phrase in Star Wars is, in my opinion, may the force be with you. I did not mention that in that podcast, and that for me is a very important phrase because that phrase refers to us, refers to our force, the force that we are naturally. So, as I said, also, that movies are messages to us to help us remember who we are, and may the force be with you is a phrase that is helping us remember who we are because we are that force. We are that force. Yes. Luke Skywalker was showing us our power by standing in our power, defeating those dark forces, Darth Vader, which he was light and then he turned dark. As you see, his whole character, him being his father, and Luke Skywalker being the light, the truth. So we all can relate to having a parent, a father figure that may not show themselves in a light essence, right? I know I can say that about mine. And it's a part of the life journey. And it's the message of that, that when you get caught up in parts of yourself that are not aligned with your true essence, which is light, then you take on that character, that villain character that wants to manipulate and dominate people. And that's how he was, Darth Vader. He wanted to just control the masses. And that is another movie. As I said, it depicts humanity. It depicts war. It depicts some people that want to manipulate and dominate over people. So that was Darth Vader, which happened to be Luke Skywalker's father. And as I said, I too had a father figure that was just like that. Wasn't in that movie, but he was in my life. Okay. A person of controlling and manipulating at times. So that message, as I said, there was so many messages, but the main one for me in Star Wars was, may the force be with you, because that is our force. And when you know that you are that force, nothing can break you. Nothing can overcome you. Nothing can do anything to you because you are the force of this beautiful universe, of God, of source, the source of all life. Yes, we are that force. And when you know that you are this force, then your whole life will change for you, for the better. So yeah, Star Wars, as I said, it depicted us, our lives, everything that humanity goes through, everything, the wars, and as I said, different ethnic groups and different species. Yeah, and war. This war of fighting against ourselves, because that's really what's happening today in our world and even in Star Wars. When wars happen, what is actually happened is we are fighting against ourselves because we are all a part of the whole of consciousness, the whole of humanity, and all of our different varieties. We are all humanity. We are all human in this physical vessel experiencing life. It just showed, as I said, us fighting us killing one another, fighting one another and killing one another. So that was a message to wake us up because we can no longer fight against each other. It is time to unify. Yeah, it is. It is time for all of us to unify. It is time for all of us to remember who we are, because when you do remember who you are, you don't want to fight. No, you don't want to control. You don't want to dominate. That's an imbalance. Anytime that happens, that's an imbalance. So, Star Wars, as I said, may the force be with you, and you are that force. So remember that. You are that force. You are a powerful force that's in a body, experiencing life, creating your life, creating every step of the way in your life. So that is something to know. That message in Star Wars is that we are a powerful force in life, and we are the authority of our own lives once we know who we are and the things that we create for ourselves. So another thing I want to mention too is, the other thing I want to mention just briefly, because I think it's worth repeating, and I spoke about this on the same podcast, is that your story is the best story, but you didn't think it was the best story, because at times we are all caught up in other people's stories. So let's bring this awareness to our own story, dear ones, knowing that we are the force, that force that they said in Star Wars. We are the force. And knowing to go with the ebb and flow of life, because when you do go with the ebb and flow of life, it's just like a EKG machine. When you see the waves going up and down, you see a normal sinus rhythm, right? A normal sinus rhythm. It can be from 60 to 100. That's a normal sinus rhythm. But when we don't go with the ebb and flow, and we don't know that we are that force, as they said in Star Wars, that EKG flow would be like this. It will go up and down, then it go up higher, down, then it can stop and make a pause. You see? Go up and down, because we're not with the flow of life. Yes, we are beautiful essences that are rhythms. We are the beautiful rhythms of this world. And we are actually a note playing our own symphony in this world. So if you stop in life, not going with the ebb and flow, as I said, like an EKG rhythm, you see the EKG, it goes up and down, nice rhythm. But then when you don't go with the flow, here's an example. It goes up, down, then it might go like that, or it might go it might go up, like faster. So the rhythm is now disturbed, and it might stop because we have heart blocks. I mean, this is us. That is your rhythm. So when you don't go with the ebb and flow, that's what happens. That rhythm in your life becomes blocked. That's a heart block. You can have a PVC, which is a premature ventricular contraction. So you can have like a beat that's fast. You see what I'm saying? That's us. If we don't know that we are the force and we don't go with the ebb and flow, these are the things that will happen. And as a matter of fact, these are the things that do happen. So when you go with the ebb and flow, this is us. Nice. That's how we want. Because when you go like that, guess what? The universe can bring whatever you are creating, because you are in a natural flow. But when you're not in a natural flow like this, like this, you see what I'm saying? You stop and you go like this, then you go up. You see what I'm saying? You feel that friction. Then what happens? The universe can't bring nothing to you because you're not in a flow. You're not in that natural ebb and flow. And that's what we all do at times. Yeah, because we are the notes, dear ones. We are the notes playing our own symphony in life. So bring some awareness to what I just spoke of today, so you can be in a natural rhythm like this. Yeah, up and down, natural rhythm. None of this or this like, yeah. I mean, that is really what is happening. Just remember that, dear ones. Try to the best of your ability to go with the ebb and flow so you can create the beautiful worlds that you desire from your heart. Yes, from your heart, because the universe will bring all of the things that you want. It has to align, though. It has to align with your heart, because guess what? You are the force. May the force be with you. You are that. So know that you are the force, and nothing can do anything to you when you know that you are the force. Yeah, you are the force of God. You are the force of this universe. Remember that. So I'm going to end it here, dear ones. So enjoy the rest of your day. Know that you are a force that is here experiencing life in a body that's supposed to be moving, that's supposed to be happy and engaging in life, because you are life. You are life. The more that you do from your heart, the more life that you bring into your vessel, into your life experiences. You are life. You are the force. You are ebb and flow. No restrictions unless you don't know who you are and you are unsure of yourself. That's when you're not in the flow of life, when you're unsure of yourself, when you don't know who you are. That is when the flow of your life becomes restricted and we get lost. We get angry. All of these things is what stops the flow, the ebb and flow of life. So take notice of that, dear ones, because you are a force creating everything in your life. And I had to recognize for myself that I wasn't going in the ebb and flow. And that's why I made this video, because my higher self pointed it out to me. My higher self pointed it out to me, and because of that, I was able to let go of things that needed for me to let go of. And I did that. And when I did that, it was not even in my mind for a second. It was gone completely. So yes, this is a lesson to let go. Let go and realize that you are a force in the world. All right, dear ones. So as I was saying, enjoy your day. Know that you are a force, and learn to the best of your ability to go with the ebb and flow of life. All right, take care, and remember this as well, that the treasure is you. So take care, and namaste.